Hello everybody, and welcome back to Certified Collectibles. This is another episode of First Appearances of the Week. This is Wednesday, April 28th, 2021. We'll be giving you all the first appearances hitting in comic shops today. Now this week we have 10 books in total, 5 first appearances and 5 honorable mentions. So pretty good group to go through this week. So let's go ahead and get started for the first appearances of the week ending April 30th, 2021. First up from DC Comics, Batman Superman number 17. This features the first appearance of Auteur.io. Next from DC Comics, Detective Comics number 1035. This features the first appearance of Mr. Worth, a vengeful father of a girl killed in Gotham's latest crime wave. Also from DC Comics, Robin number 1. This features the first appearance of Flatline, the first appearance of Respawn, and the first appearance of Mother Soul. Next from Marvel Comics, The Marvels number 1. This features the first appearance of Kevin Schumer, the first cameo appearance of Threadneedle, and the first cameo appearance of Zarala, a Wakandan. And finally from Marvel Comics, Black Widow number 6. This features the first appearance of Lucy Nguyen, a protege of Natasha. So there you have the 5 first appearances that we have for you guys this week. We have a group of 5 really cool honorable mentions as well to go through, so let's go ahead and take a look. First up from Scout Comics, Galactic Rodents of Mayhem number 1. An intergalactic adventure that pays homage to the Saturday morning cartoons of the 80s and 90s. Next, also from Scout Comics, Snatched number 1. This is a hardcore voyage into the violent world of human hair trafficking, a trade as deadly as the drug game. Next from Image Comics, Summoner's War Legacy number 1. This is a comic book inspired by Summoner's War, the mobile game where monsters are summoned in a battle of good versus evil. Next from Boom Comics, Something is Killing the Children number 1 8th print edition. This is a surprise incentive variant. For every 2 copies of Berserker number 2 ordered, a comic shop was eligible to order 1 copy of this 8th print edition. And finally from DC Comics, Action Comics number 1030. The solicitation reads, after a war-torn battleship escapes Warworld and makes the perilous journey to Earth, Superman searches for answers about the identity of its mysterious refugees and their apparent link to planet Krypton. The refugees may play an important role in later stories, and their cameo may be in this issue. So there you have the 5 first appearances and 5 honorable mentions that we have for you guys this week. So that's 10 books in all, so let's go through those and pick out the ones we think you should add to your long-term investment portfolio. Out of the first appearances, DC Comics Batman Superman number 17, the first appearance of Auteur.io. It all depends what they do with this character. This is a Batman Superman character. The Batman franchise is really strong for DC Comics, so this may be a character that's important in that franchise, but it all depends on what they do with this particular character, so put this one on your B list. Detective Comics number 1035. This features the first appearance of Mr. Worth. He's a vengeful father of a girl killed in Gotham's latest crime wave. Once again, Batman's franchise is the strongest for DC Comics, but it really depends on what they do with this character. Put this one on your B list as well. Next from DC Comics, Robin number 1. Now this one does belong on your A list. This is one that we think you should pick up. This is the first appearance of Flatline, the first appearance of Respawn, and the first appearance of Mother Soul. All those characters have been pretty hyped, so this is one we think you should definitely add. Also, from Marvel Comics, The Marvels number 1. This features the first appearance of Kevin Schumer, and there's a few cameo appearances as well in here. Threadneedle and Zarala. Zarala is a Wakandian. That franchise is very strong also right now for Marvel. And the MCU is still very strong pushing these Marvel titles. So this is one we do think you should add. Pick this one here up. And finally from Marvel Comics, Black Widow number 6. This features the first appearance of Lucy Nguyen, a protege of Natasha. Once again, it all depends on what is done with this character. Keep your eye on this one, but you could put this one on your B list. And from the honorable mentions, Scout Comics Galactic Rodents of Mayhem number 1. This is the intergalactic adventure that pays homage to the cartoons of the 80s and 90s. This is one to keep your eye on. A lot of Scout Comics right now are being picked up for TV shows or movies. This one sounds like it's going to lend itself very well to a nostalgic cartoon. The nostalgia for cartoons of the 80s and 90s is very strong right now. So this is one that we do think you should add. Next, also from Scout Comics, Snatched number 1. This was the voyage into the violent world of the human hair trafficking. This sounds like it might lend itself well to TV or film. Once again, Scout Comics have been producing a lot of comic books that have been optioned for TV and film. So this is more of a speculative bet that this will be made into TV or film. If not, we don't really think there's potential for this title. But if it is made into television or film, this is one we do think you should pick up. So keep your eye on this one. If there's a lot more buzz about this, or if it gets optioned, this is one you should have in your collection. Next from Image Comics, Summoner's War Legacy number 1. This is inspired by Summoner's War, the mobile game. So any of the video game related comic books are very hot right now. You guys probably saw what happened to the Batman Fortnite crossover a few weeks ago. This one here, another video game comic book, or a video game inspired comic. So this is one we do think you should keep your eye on. This one here may be worth adding, so put this one on your A list. Next from Boom Comics, Something is Killing the Children number 1 8th print edition. Now this was a surprise incentive variant. Comic shops were able to order one of these for every 2 copies of Berserker number 2 that they ordered, or customers could actually obtain one of these by purchasing Berserker number 2, showing the proof of purchase for Berserker number 1, either the receipt or the comic book, and then showing the special insert from Berserker number 1, the foil edition, to actually get a free copy of this particular variant. This one here is going to be tougher to come by, a lower print run. It's the 8th print edition. You don't usually see comic books printed that many times, so this 8th print edition may be one of the more important later print editions. So this one here, we definitely think you should pick up if you can find it. Definitely pick this one up and add it to your collection. And finally from DC Comics, Action Comics number 1030. This featured the battleship with the refugees that may or may not be from the planet Krypton. We don't really think this is terribly important right now. Keep your eye on this one here, but this is one you could definitely put on your B list. So there you have our suggestions for the first appearances and honorable mentions for the week ending April 30th, 2021. Please drop us some comments in the comment section below. Let us know what you guys think. Give us a thumbs up if you like this video. And as always, please remember to subscribe to the channel for more videos like this. Thank you for joining us here at Certified Collectibles, and we'll see you again next time.